I'm Fernando Fernandez. We're here with Ben Lewis, and we're in front of the Blur Hot Docs cinema here. His movie, Google and the World Brain is featuring here tonight, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about this film. And first off, let's ask you, why is this film important to show to the masses?
Well, it's a film that makes you think twice about the internet. You know, in a way, this is the first film that's critical about the internet, and it's a film that's against techno-utopianism, against the false faith, false hopes that we place in technology. And in order to talk to people about that, I've chosen the story of Google Books, a story about how Google tried to scan every book in the world, create a universal digital library, how they scanned many books that were out of copyright, and many books that were in copyright. Now a group of authors and publishers enlisted the support of world governments, ultimately the American Justice Department, and stopped Google from fulfilling their original grand plan in an American courtroom.
Right. And do you feel that this is what Google is doing and the way they're going about it, do you feel that this is sort of like cyberbullying, but in another way, just the way about they go to the libraries and their demeanor and stuff?
I think, you know, the internet has got it the wrong way around. There's a lot of corporations that think they're giving us a lot of things for free, creating things for the benefit of mankind, but actually they're actually taking a lot of things from people without paying for them. And I don't particularly want to single out Google, but just that I thought the Google book story was a kind of parable or a fable that brought out this problem in a very vivid and intriguing way.
What do you think will happen? You know, the Napster generation brought up that generation where you know, the young, we don't have to pay for this, we don't have to do this, we don't have to do that. Now with the Google Books, does that make the problem a little bit worse for the younger generation that's coming up?
The point is that we have to move to a system of micropayments on the internet. The internet is a terribly new phenomenon. It's a terribly complicated phenomenon. There aren't a lot of precedents to go on. And in a way, one of the key things you need to think about is that Google, you know, it says it's a search engine, it says it's an index, it's just providing access to information. But actually, people use Google like a publisher. In a way, people are coming to Google for stuff that it presents them, that it's published. And Google is making a lot of money out of that. And it's saying we don't have to pay the people who provide that information because they're getting really good exposure through our index. I think that's wrong. I think that needs to be redefined, you know, and I think we need to understand that the little guy has to be rewarded. In the real economy, we know that there's an ever-widening gulf, isn't there, between the rich people and the poor people. Same thing on the internet. Let's try to reverse that process.
You talked to Ray Kurzweil, of course. He's the transcendent man, and you know, he says that, you know, science and technology it's gonna grow exponentially, right? So is this part of that process, what Google is doing with Google Books?
There's going to be lots more technology, but technology is not going to save the world's problems. You know, just because you can put a mobile phone in your earlobe, or you know, your brain, or you can have a computer attached to your glasses, the world's problems are going to go on. You know, poverty, oppression, exploitation, racism. None of these problems are going to be solved by technology. These problems are going to be solved by human beings actually thinking about things, creating a fairer, a more equal world.
What did you learn most about, after putting this film together, what did you learn most about the actual film?
The thing that really surprised me as I made the film was like AI. You know, Google were getting all their machines to read all the books in order to create, at some point in the future, AI. And that was the real surprise. That this was, in a way, this wasn't a film about what people were reading. It was a film about what machines were reading. And it's almost like made me think of a new science fiction film called The Day Machines Can Read. And to me that sort of ties in with the whole Edward Snowden NSA PRISM story, because we know that there's not a lot of federal agents looking through your or my emails or our sexy, you know, kinky Skype conversations, but we know machines are looking at them. And I think we've got to kind of think far into the future. You know, I mean, today it's machines, 5 years' time, it's AI. How do we feel about artificial intelligence looking at all the stuff that we produce on the internet, our correspondence and our searches? Okay, fine. AI, okay. But one day, AI is going to become so clever that it's going to be like a human. It's going to be a cyborg. It's going to be a fusion.
Right.
How are we going to feel when these sort of new, super clever entities that are semi-human, or are they machines? I don't know what they are. When they're, listening into our Skype conversations, when they're reading our emails, following what we do on Facebook.
Right.
I think that's a problem we've got to address today.
Mm-hmm. So what is like the primary goal of your film, and what do you want your viewers to learn about the film? I'm pretty sure you don't want your viewers to say, "Oh, we don't like Google anymore," or something like that. You want your viewers to actually go a little bit more in depth into what you're presenting here.
I want my viewers to lose their utopian faith in technology, right? Forget techno-utopianism. And to quote, a brilliant book by Jaron Lanier, "You are not a gadget." That would be, in a way, the message of my film.
Excellent. Can you tell us of any upcoming projects you have with?
Yeah, I'm I'm developing a documentary about a notorious Soviet pseudoscientist called Trofim Lysenko, who denied the existence of genes and chromosomes and dominated Soviet agriculture for 30 years with a load of wacky ideas like you could transform one species into another or create life out of non-living material.
Right.
It's a kind of crazy story about a political regime that attached itself to the wackiest, most mystical ideas you could imagine and claimed that they were going to that was going to be a kind of solution for the problem. That was good, and they thought that was going to be a way to feed the world. And I'm making another film about a bunch of British producers, crooked British producers. They faked a £20 million movie in order that they could claim £3 million in tax credits, film tax credits and VAT back from the British government.
Wow.
A kind of scam. And they got found out. They got arrested and they got bailed, and while out on bail they thought, oh my god, we better actually make the movie. So they made a movie, wasn't very good, a British gangster movie. We went to a few film festivals, won an awards, and then the producers went to court and they all got quite long jail sentences. So that's a kind of comedy about film production.